Topic: regulation of digestion. Now, when we have discussed digestion in detail, we are talking about how it is regulated. There are certain activities of the gastrointestinal tract which are under two control mechanisms. One is neural and another one is hormonal. Right. The neural mechanism says that the sight of the and the smell of the food, the taste of the food in the buccal cavity, that means the sight, smell and taste of food in the buccal cavity will automatically stimulate the secretion of saliva. It's the Pavlov's theory in psychology. It's an experiment which is conducted on dog, and no doubt it's true that the sight, the smell, the taste of food will automatically lead to the secretion of saliva. And it is all neural control, because the neural signals, these control the gastric and intestinal secretions along with the hormones, and the muscular activities of different parts of alimentary canal are moderated by the neural mechanism, because it only sends messages to that area. When we talk about the hormonal control, we say the different parts of this our body, the digestive juices are secreted over there in the alimentary canal. These are gastrin, cholecystokinin, that is CCK, cholecystokinin, secretin, and next one is GIP, that is gastric inhibitory peptide. These are the hormones secreted by gastrointestinal tract. So these help in the regulation of digestion in our body. Clear? When we are moving to absorption, that how absorption takes place, we say absorption is a process when the digested food, it will move into the body or enter the blood directly. So absorption says, now the digested product or the digested food will move to the certain regions of the body. It is a process by which products of digestion are passed through the intestinal mucosa and enter the blood or lymph. Right. Now, what do we know? How this digestion, this absorption will take place of all the digested food? See, there are two main processes. One is the active mechanism and another is the passive mechanism. Active, as we know, which is working against the concentration gradient. So it works against concentration gradient. What will it do? It will require energy. So it will demand energy or expenditure of energy in the form of ATP. Here examples are glucose, galactose, amino acids, as well as sodium ion. These are absorbed by the active process. When we are talking about the passive mechanism, we say osmosis is one such process through which this demand of passive will take place. It will help in the absorption of water. Then we say facilitated diffusion. Facilitated diffusion. This will help in the movement of fructose. What does the word facilitated mean? It means with the help of, with an aid, किसी चीज़ की help से. All right, facilitated. And then third is simple diffusion. Simple diffusion will aid in the movement of certain molecules which move here and there and will aid in absorption. Alright, this is about active and passive. What about fats? Now, fats, the fat molecules are simply, these are adhered into small spherical water soluble droplets called micelles. Alright, what do we call them? Micelles. These micelles, they are, with the help of bile salts and phospholipids, are absorbed actively into the intestinal cell. When these micelles, they reach in the intestinal cells, here they acquire a protein coat around them. Right. So what do? These micelles, they acquire a new protein coat around them, and now all together they are transformed into chylomicrons. These are very, very, very smart. What do? They change their shape. They try to mimic blood, that we are only the protein molecules. And this is how these are transported into the lacteals. Remember what are lacteals? The lymph vessels. And from lacteals into the villi, which release them into blood. So ultimately, these fat molecules are trying to reach blood. How? By forming micelles which are coated with the protein and are known as chylomicrons, further transported into the lacteals and finally reaching the blood region. So here the absorption of various substances take place. But what are the various different regions of in the alimentary canal for absorption? We have certain regions. When we talk about that we are eating candies, certain candies get dissolved in the mouth region itself, right? So it means if we talk about the location or the different regions, the first one is always mouth. Clear? Here drugs, when come in contact with the buccal cavity, these got absorbed very easily as they directly enter into the blood capillaries. Same way, lower side of the tongue, if these drugs are kept there, over there also they come in direct contact with the blood capillary lining and ultimately get absorbed. Number 2, stomach region. But we have learnt only partial digestion takes place there. No, it also helps in the absorption of water. Then we say along with water it absorbs simple sugars and alcohol. Right, these are the byproducts. Whenever these are released, alongside these are absorbed. Third, small intestine. In small intestine, all the final products that we have discussed. Now name all, whatever we have learned. We have learned glucose, we have learned fructose, we have learned galactose, we have learned amino acids also, fatty acid, glycerol, right? Sodium ions and other mineral ions. All these are absorbed in the small intestine. Clear? Moving to the fourth part, that is the large intestine. Here also absorption of water, certain minerals and drugs take place. Because when this absorption takes place, it is not that water has already absorbed here, then how come here? These are the byproducts. Whenever these are released, alongside these are absorbed by the different regions of alimentary canal. And when these reach the tissues, they finally go to the various areas where these are utilized. What for? For various activities. And they act as a source of energy for raw material for the synthesis of other macromolecules. And whatever is left behind, that turns into the solidified, coherent fecal matter, which is retained in the rectum for a certain period of time, and whenever there is a reflex which reaches and there is an urge, it is removed through the body, that is from its posterior opening anus. Alright, this is all about absorption as well as the various regions of absorption in the body.